Hey Libra, how are you? It's me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. We have a very interesting spread for you today, Libra. It starts out kind of like trippy, a little bit heavy. I feel like it's like your kind of energy right now. Feeling a little stuck, feeling a little stagnant, feeling a little confused. But as we move through your reading, there's like a lot of realizations and it ends on like a pretty playful note. I feel like there's something inside of you that just wants to play. Right? Like there's like, you just want to play. It's like almost like you're bored. Like you're going a little bit stir crazy. It's something like that. I've done your reading. See, I'm like, talk about that. There's like a lot of downloads. I'm trying to get the main gist of the message out here for you, because there's like a lot of stuff coming in like from everywhere. That might be part of what you're going through too. There's just like a lot of like activity around you, whether it's like in the 3D, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, there's just like a lot. So you're just trying to like focus. And I was having trouble doing that before I started reading, and I looked at my power rate and it was like, focus. They're like, focus, Lord. I'm like, I'm trying, but Libra can't focus. So I'm doing my best. So stay with me. You stay with me. Stay together. So we're going to use a combination of the Mystical Shaman Oracle and the Queen of the Moon Oracle for your spread this week. Let's pray. Let's bring Jesus in on the mix. Father God, thank you for being here with us today. I ask that you bless these messages, that you cover these cards, and you give me wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver them accurately. We praise you. We love you. We thank you always. To the utmost high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, Libra. So, me. So, Libra, we're starting out your read this week with the Smoky Mirror. Card number 47. That breaks down to an 11. Now, I see this being you right here, right? This is, it's a masculine figure, male or female, flip it and reverse it. You know how we do here, but it's made out of stone. I'm hearing like Stonehenge, right? It's this feeling of like feeling a little hard. Maybe you feel a little hard, like a little closed off, impenetrable, like the sense that you've had to put up like a lot of like walls and barriers and boundaries in order to make yourself impenetrable after perhaps a period of time where like you felt really vulnerable. You didn't want to do that. So with your masculine energy, you've done that, right? You've kind of made yourself like stone a little bit. Almost, I'm hearing Medusa, almost like how Medusa used to do that to men, right? But meanwhile, you are sitting in a big like pool of water, right? So it's like, despite sitting in your emotions, perhaps the realization of some of your emotions as they come to greet you makes you feel vulnerable, a little out of control. So it's like you harden yourself to your own feelings a little bit. Now, if you flip this card upside down, you can see the reflection of this man, of this stone, of this statue in the water. But if you look even closer, I don't think you'll be able to see it in my camera. Maybe you can. There's almost this figure of this woman. You can see her bodice, you can see her form, her figure in there. And I think that that's really interesting, that inside this like hard masculine energy, male or female, that you're sitting in, there is like this inner feminine, right? That it's like, it's so hard to see. And your feminine energy is that in which you receive, right? And you could be receiving a variety of things. But again, there's something about, perhaps, like I said in the past, like you were in an energy where it's like you just weren't getting what you needed out of whatever it was, right? Maybe even in terms of like feeling like your intuition was blocked off. You weren't even receiving like the guidance, or the downloads that you really needed to make proper decisions, right? Or feeling like you were receiving what you needed from the people in your relationships, the experiences that you were having, your work life, whatever it may be. And so you had to build this like tough exterior in order to like withstand that. But the funny thing is too, it's like this water, the thing about water that's so beautiful, and of all the elements, I consider it to be the strongest. I'm a Pisces, so I might be biased, but I consider it to be the strongest because water can move through cracks and crevices, right? It can flow into the big ocean. It can go and trickle down in little drops into little streams. And through that, it like corrodes, right? It turns like hard stone or like jagged edges. It makes them soft over time, like with patience. So again, I think there's also a realization of you trying to be like patient with yourself, with your emotions, not letting them overtake you like a big wave, and instead like letting them come to meet you and slowly over time kind of smooth out your rough edges. But I do notice that in this water, your reflection is a little bit distorted as well. And they keep giving me all of this like fun house, like a fun house mirror. When you go and you look at your reflection, right? see what you look like and you're like really, really big, or you're really, really tall, or you're all scrunched up, or you're real little. It's like, you know, it's like your reflections, almost not even realizing, almost ignoring this inner feminine energy, has been a little bit distorted. And then we have followed up by this earth energy right here, right? And it's almost like this inner feminine, like trying to peek her head out of the water. It almost reminds me of the High Priestess card in the Good Tarot deck. It's like coming out of the water. And I think the combination of like this earthy element in you, right? Maybe it's like actually being earth, like down here in the 3D, and then this like spiritual thing that you're doing energetically of like trying to harden yourself to make yourself impenetrable, right? Is like creating like a feeling of like stuck in the mud. Again, it's that like boredom constricted feeling. Because when you have too much earth and you have too much water, you just create mud, right? And it kind of almost acts like quicksand, and you start kind of like sinking in. And now I'm seeing this statue like slowly sinking in. But the beautiful thing is we have this mystical shaman card out next. 38, this breaks down to an 11 as well. So we have 2 11s on the board so far. Take that for what you will, Libra. And what I see is this mystical shaman is blowing. See the smoke that he blows? It's like he's blowing out this like extra bit of air, almost to like wash, like almost like to blow the debris off of your face, right? Like allow you to see yourself more clearly in this funhouse mirror for exactly what you are. Exactly what you are. And when I was looking at these cards, I had put my camera on. I hadn't started speaking yet. And I was like, wow, I look pale. And I was like, but I am pale, right? And then like I heard like a little like bang on the wall, and they were kind of saying like there's something about that. It's about like seeing yourself for exactly like how you are, like without criticism as well, like where you are in your path in terms of like your healing and your development and your journey. And then we have it followed up by this rainbow card. And it's so interesting to me that, again, this mystical shaman energy, this could be like source energy. This could be a part of your higher self. This could be a part of like your spiritual team, your angels, your guides. On one side, they're blowing out this like this breath of air onto, I think, to like revitalize yourself a little bit as well, right? It's like getting that extra bit of energy. Maybe you've been real tired lately, Libra. Get the debris off your face so you can see. But then basically coming directly out of the headdress is this gorgeous rainbow card, right? This beautiful bird, this divine messenger with this rainbow frequency. And rainbow frequency is one of the highest of the frequencies that you can attain. It's the Christos. That's been coming up a lot in the readings this week. It's the Christos. It's that Christ consciousness. And that means it's the highest of love and light and empathy and understanding and forgiveness, right? And just like however you are. It's absolutely beautiful. So it's like coming out of it. So it's like this is blowing onto you, but then this, because it's this way on my board, right? So it's this way on my board. So they're blowing it towards you to kind of like clear the debris off your face, almost like as part of like your rebirth when you like wipe a baby's face clean, right? And then before you, right, sending it into like the future, they're sending this beautiful wave of like positivity and like high vibrational energy to kind of like get you unstuck, like stuck out of the mud, pull you out of the mud. Now we move into this beautiful card, beginnings, new moon, new birth, right? And we are actually on, it is the 10th, it's the 10th today. On the 14th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius, which is gorgeous, and it's going to be an eclipse, right? Almost like, now I'm looking at this almost looks a little bit like an eclipse. And I see this rainbow, this high vibrational frequency being sent to the future, right? Maybe into the next couple weeks for you, into this new beginning. And again, it's like all icy. It's like endless winter over here, right? But inside this new beginning, inside this like new portal, this new opportunity, and we are about, thank you for reminding me, we are about to have the 12/12 portal in 2 days. It's spring. And I've been talking about probably since the summer that, depending on where you live, I live on the continental United States. I live on the Eastern Coast, New Jersey. Hello. So it's been during our spring and during our summer, I felt like we were having an emotional, spiritual fall and winter. And I was saying at the end of the summer, around August, that I felt as though when we were moving into a natural fall and winter, we were moving into a spiritual spring and summer, that regrowth time, right? Harvest season. And this I see kind of confirming that for me. And again, it's like unfreezing, unstucking, thawing out, getting the debris off so that way new life can kind of come in, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Now, on the other side of this beginning card for you, we have this card number 4, acceptance. 4 is a foundational number. And I think it's San. When she's pulled this card before in the past, she said that she wished this card said like connection. And I agree with that too, because there is this alchemy, this connectivity, right? And it could just be between your masculine and feminine parts, but I am pulling in energy from like an external source as well. So, and there was these like these 11s. So I do want to be mindful of that. I am pulling in this energy from this external source. I think part of this new beginning for you is this realization and acceptance of a connection that perhaps you've had for a long time, or perhaps that you had in the past, right? That unknowingly, it's like something that you just thought like I'll just never get over it. Like it is what it is, whatever, right? Almost kind of chalking it up to something that was like very average, just like the average breakup, the average separation, like the average thing that just like didn't work out, whatever it may be. It's like accepting the connectivity, like the magic, the alchemy that was in this connection that unknowingly, like I feel like you've been carrying around with you. Could have been a situation where you were with someone, it didn't work out. It is what it is, right, Libra? And then you've been going forward like since, and things just like haven't quite like hit the same. That's how it's coming through. Things just like haven't like hit the same for some reason, and not really understanding why. Thinking again, like it's part of your wounded feminine, or it's part of your masculine energy. It's too hard, right? It's something like that. But in actuality, like there maybe was something different. There was maybe something special. There was like a foundational energy there. There's a foundational energy there, and I don't know how far that goes, but I think the foundation is perhaps in the chemistry, in the electricity between the connection. There's something in there. And then we have it followed up by card number 21, 3, which is a collaborative number. It's also a number of divinity and alignment, resilience, right? And it's like, here you are. It's like kind of, again, ever since, whenever that was for you, Libra, you've kind of been going along, right, with these burdens. It's almost like a little like 10 of Wands-y kind of energy, with these burdens like on your back. But the thing is about these burdens is that there's life here, right? There's vines, there's leaves, there's just like there's all of this new growth, all of this new life, almost things that you would kind of almost in the sense that you've been walking with this on your back, not realizing it because it's not directly in front of you, right? Feeling a little tired, feeling a little weary, feeling a little like stone. There's like a big stone on your back that's like holding all of this new growth, almost like searching for this beginning, searching for this place to plant it, but not really knowing where that was, who that was with. And I'm looking at this card and I keep hearing like holding space, right? And I'm thinking, you know, like holding space spiritually, energetically. We talk about that, like holding that like positive vibration, like a hopeful attitude, like a can-do spirit, right? But if we think about in the natural, what is holding, like what is space? Space is land. Space is land. It's a territory, right? That it's like almost as though on the other side of this beginning, you have this like awakening, you have this like realization about something about this old connection perhaps, and like flip it. This could be in terms of work, in terms of your purpose. Do whatever you got to do, Libra, but it feels a little romantic perhaps. That the realization that there was like at least the vibration of whatever connection this was, accepting that has to almost be like the blueprint, like the vibe, like the foundational frequency of, even if it wasn't this person to come back, that anything moving forward, it's almost like it has to hit like this certain level. It's like this certain tone, right? It's like when a pitch is too high or too low, it's like it has to hit like exactly right. They're showing me like fun houses again, when you have like the little water gun and you have to get it like right in the middle of the bullseye, otherwise the balloon doesn't pop and then you don't get your big stuffed animal. It's a little bit like that. Like it can't be a little to the left, it can't be to the little to the right, it has to be like the exact right pitch. And so I almost see like you've been holding this connection, you've been holding this life, right? Almost looking for a place to plant it, holding this space while looking for space. Again, it's like this mirroring, these fun house mirrors without realizing it, because it's been something that you've been trying to put behind you. You've been trying to put it behind you, but meanwhile, it's been like right above your head, not realizing kind of energetically what it's been doing to you. Now, we move over to card number 17, self-reflection. And again, here we go with another mirror, a fun house mirror again, right? Again, it's this, I'm hearing Freaky Friday. Maybe something on Friday the 13th in November. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to get locked into that. But again, it's like another one of these like little fun house, like optical illusion kind of mirrors that's going on. And the thing that I noticed is that there's two. It's twins. It's, you see my face? You know how I get about that stuff. I have to read the message how it's coming out. I can't edit. Not a copywriter. You're not a copywriter, Lauren. They're twins, right? And then so thus on the other side of the mirror, there's two as well. And both sets of these twins, right? I'd say masculine and feminine, your parts, but they're all feminine energies. Your eyes are closed. So again, there's something about the other that has perhaps been like going through a similar process as you as well, without either of you realizing it. And what I noticed is one of you are like on land, and then the other part of you is in this like deep emotional water. So again, I'm almost feeling is like this is you, Libra, because you were coming out with this earth energy, right? And the other, perhaps, maybe they're a water sign. They're bringing me up to the Cancer reading now. The Cancer reading that I just did this week, what was it called? Long Walks on the Beach? They've been kind of submerged in a little bit more of like an emotional experience, whereas you have kind of hardened yourself to your own emotions, sitting in more of that masculine energy. Perhaps because your inner feminine was so wounded, you had to take on more of a masculine energy, perhaps in the past. They were sitting in so much of a masculine energy that now they're sitting in more of a feminine, emotional sort of energy as well. But again, it's like this reflection. It's this optical illusion that neither of you are really noticing a little bit because your eyes are closed. Again, it's like looking forward, but also like eyes are closed to what's like behind you. It's funny. It really is interesting because even in this card, she's kind of looking like down. She's not looking out straight. So again, it's like this mirroring. And then we move to card number 34, extremes. Extremes right here, going through emotional extremes and processing them in like very different ways. And then like, here's all this like fire energy. It's a hot moon, right? It's like Sagittarius season, right? I'm also hearing Leo. I was getting a big pull on Leo energy. So you could have a lot of Leo in your chart. Something could have happened during Leo season, or if this has to do with an actual person and not just the unification of your energies, or in terms of like a social group or your work or something like that, they could have heavy like fire placements, like Leo energy, because they were pulling on me. And I almost went to sit down and do the Leo reading. And I was like, wait, I already did the Leo reading. Like, what the fuck, Leo? And I was like, should I do an SOS? And I was like, no, this is not, they don't need an SOS. Leo's just fine. Like, they're going to be center of attention. Like, what's going on right now? So there is something about that, about this extremes, like it's like a pressure cooker. Now they're telling me diamonds. It's like, when you want to like, I'm hearing forge fire, like we want to forge a fire, or like check the brilliance of a diamond, like something like that. Like you have to put it under that pressure, you have to put it under that heat. And then this image in here is also of masculine energy as well. And I almost feel like this might be part of your thawing out process, right? This like removing your debris, kind of melting the ice off of you. So instead of being a stone, you're like an actual like flesh and bone. Again, you're actually flesh and bone. Again, like I said, male or female, because we all have masculine and feminine energies. But if you are a female, I feel as though, like I said, you're the extent of the emotional processes that you had gone through had wounded you or made you still feel so vulnerable that your masculine energy had to really step to the forefront to protect your inner feminine. And then in that, the weight of that kind of made you hard, like Stonehenge, right? So this is the process of you thawing it out. Now we move into card number 15, the drum. And I've actually never noticed this in this card before, right? She has this actual drum and she has this mallet that she beats on it, right? But what I notice is in the center is this big circle, almost like here, right? And it almost felt like a top being pulled off of a pot. And yeah, it's like a top being pulled off of a pot, almost like right here. Do you see? You like pull it off and then it's like all the steam comes out of the pot, and then it's like all the condensation. I like don't really know what I'm saying, but I hope it's like making sense to you. And all the condensation kind of comes down. But then I looked closer and I realized that it almost looks like this is like the top to right here, like your heart, right? Like your heart chakra, like the things that you held like real close. That's something about this thawing out process, this like new beginning you're walking into, right? These realizations that you're having about like the chemistry and the connections of something that perhaps you've already been through, or even just the realization of like the kind of chemistry or like magic that you want, and how that has to be like the foundation of anything that like you involve yourself in moving forward, right? It's almost like, again, it's like popping your heart open finally, and then taking this mallet and almost like beating it. It's almost like trying to call in. It feels like you're trying to like call in this person energetically, because it doesn't feel like it's in the natural. Like I don't feel any communication, but it feels like it's like very energetic. It feels like it's very spiritual, whether it's a specific person or it's just like a kind of connection, a kind of vibration. It feels like you're like pulling the top off of your heart, right? That has been thawed out, and now it's like gotten warmer, and now it's like you almost can't help yourself, that you're like unleashing the beast and like banging on the drum to like call in this partner, call this in for you. And then from there we move into this council card, another 11. So literally, and they're all down the middle. The smoky mirror, the mystical shaman, and the council card. 11, 11, 11. 311. So 311 for me always talks about Ecclesiastes 3:11. He's made everything beautiful in its time. Everything beautiful in its time, right? So again, it's like the time it takes to thaw you out, move this frequency, this positive vibration into the new beginning. It's almost like how they talk about sending peace ahead of you into new places. This self-reflection, this realization, this getting you to like engage in the process by like opening your heart back up and like calling in, sending like an alert out to the universe, out to God, to your angels, your guides, whatever. Like, I'm ready, like I'm here, like I figured it out, like I know what I want, or at least I know what I want it to feel like, right? And then this council card comes up. And this I see as your guardian angel, maybe your higher self, part of your guides, whatever it is. And it's like this closed, almost like as you unleash your heart, they like pull in their own heart energy. And it's almost like a meditative state that I see them in, right? Kind of like pulling. It's like as you request it, it's like they start bringing it in for you. It's almost like you had to realize the kind of relationship that you want, or the kind of chemistry that you needed, or the kind of just like the kind of vibe you wanted, right, in your life. Again, there is this energy of like being bored, like needing like to have fun, right? It's like all work and no play makes like Libra a dull air sign. It's a little bit like that. And as you figure that out and request it, maybe or maybe not in connection to another, right? They kind of work, and they kind of in a very like calm meditative state use their own heart energy because of their like unconditional love for you, and to like do the best for you and bring you the best there is to offer. They start to bring it in for you. That's what I see what's happening. 11, 11, 11. Now we move into card number 27, release. And this is what I see is happening. I see as they do that, there's almost like this supersonic energy that like comes into you, and it's almost like it like is pulling you out, Libra, right? Because if you look closely at her, and it's almost as like she doesn't look like her face doesn't look like super relaxed, like, oh, thank God, thank you for doing this for me. It's almost like a little bit of like like a possession energy, but it doesn't feel like nefarious. It literally feels like you're being like in possession of like the higher council, right? The higher council, the thing that you've been going to for guidance, for support, for comfort, for advice, all of this stuff, right? Your angels, your guardians, that they've like taken possession of you, and now they're like pulling you. So you might be getting these like impulses, like, I have to go to this place. Like, I have to click on this video. I have to call this person. I just have to go here. I just have to do this. It's like it feels like it's not even like in your control anymore, right? And as you hold on to this, it almost looks like you're holding on to like a sword, or you're trying to like hold on to the branches, that there's a part of you that's like freaked out a little bit, that like your impulses are like overtaking your rational mind, right? Almost trying to hold on a little bit to these like branches, like maybe I could stay in this timeline, like maybe I could stay right here, like in a stone. And they're like, oh no, Libra. And then we move into this hunger card number 29, another 11. 4 11s, 11, 11, 11, 11. And 411 as an angel number talks about patience. It talks about patience and like giving people in your life like another opportunity, right? Because like we all can grow and we all can change, and you know, it's your discernment, it's your boundaries, and it's your business. But that is what like 411 as an angel number means. And these cards mirror each other. So again, I see this as like the other party, like the other party, this other connection kind of like coming through again with this mirroring. Almost again, like one of you's like kind of like more earthy, and then one of you's like more in like a spiritual, emotional, energetic realm. It's a little bit right here, right? Again, it's like you, like a little bit more earthy, and they're a little bit more like spiritual, like primal, right? And like the wolf, when I hear wolf or see wolf, I always think of pact, right? And so again, that's pulling in like the pact, like a soul pact, like a soul contract that needs to be fulfilled or was like agreed upon before like coming down here, like for your human experience, right? And it's just so fascinating to me, like the mirroring. And this card is like hunger. So it's like you're in this process of like being released, being detached from like your baser self. And then the other has like already kind of moved into this like animalistic, again, this like base instinct kind of energy, like in this hunger, in this pull, like howling out to the moon. As you were beating this drum, they were like howling out to the moon, and now your energies are kind of, again, like mirroring each other. And then we end your reading with the masculine. And I pulled this card, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. The masculine. And what I see here is almost like the bodies look very similar, right? But this one is made out of flesh and bone, and not like out of stone. And you can flip this story however you see fit, Libra, right? And then I see these two like wands, but I'm hearing batons and all of these moons. And it's almost as though throughout this process of like going through this fun house with these like smoke and mirrors and these optical illusions and all of this stuff, right? That it's like you kind of like get out of it, and then there's like a new entry point now, right? It's almost like the Two of Wands, with like choosing a path with like a masculine or I'm hearing a representative. Okay, whatever. This is like a new gateway, right? Okay, it almost looks like this. I just realized that. Do you see this? And then if you look back here, there's two little kids. There's a little girl, and then there's like a little boy. And I noticed that like this little orb is right over the little girl's head, which talks about, for me, like activation and like revelation and downloads, making me feel as though whoever sits more in the feminine energy in this, perhaps like is got activated beforehand. There's something like that, but it's almost like, Libra, now that you've gone through the fun house, like, are you ready to play again? Like, are you ready to play again? But like with your eyes open, like in your flesh and blood, like not as stone, not as spirit, as flesh and bone and blood. Like, do you want to play a game? Do you want to play with me? It's like really cute, and these little kids are like holding hands. And again, it's like, do you want to play now for real? It's like when you get out of the fun house and then you decide to like go back in it, but now it's like you know the way. Now you know the way a little bit. So like I said, at the beginning of your reading, it starts out like very hard and stone and stuck and in the mud and all this stuff. But as we go through, there's like this positive energy, this frequency being blown into this new beginning for you, where you realize this connection. Realize that it's something that you haven't really been able to get rid of. There's a lot of mirroring going on, this like pressure hot pot inside, and then this council energy pulling this in together with, again, more of this mirroring, and then the opportunity to like go play, right? It's like finally that get up and go, like we can do it, like let's go play. It's like letting your inner child play. It's like a playmate, right? It's like going from like a hard, bored, stuck adult to like this process of unfreezing yourself, warming yourself up with love, all this energetic like magnetism, and then kind of like being thrust back into your inner child to like go play with your playmate. So yeah, and there's 4 11s, which is a lot. So again, mirroring. So this is your reading, Libra. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this helped you. Any information that you'll want from me will be in the description box. I'm going to continue this over on the Patreon for your extended. Probably use some tarot cards to help with that. I don't know which deck yet. But if you're interested in the extended, I will see you over in the Patreon. If not, all the rest of my links are in the description box. I love you very much. Go play. Have a good time. I'll see you later. Goodbye.